for Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame, induction ceremony, and reception. We're thrilled again this year to be at Loftin Distillery to welcome our 22nd class of inductees. As you've heard me say many times before, the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame is my favorite event of the year. It's the one time when we all get together and celebrate our successes, cheer bourbon heroes, and toast those who have gone by. It's like a family reunion every year. That unity, that spirit of collaboration and camaraderie is a hallmark of our industry and the foundation of everything we do at the Kentucky Distillers Association. So thank you all for your continued support and leadership, and most of all, thank you all for your friendship. Not only does it make our job easier at the KDA, as you hear me say a lot, we are all stronger by working together, so thank you. Though our next inductee is no longer with us, his legacy lives on in one of the most innovative distilleries in the country. Pete Loftin's vision for the Bardstown Bourbon Company revolutionized contract distilling into a chef's kitchen of customized brands through its collaborative distilling program. And it stayed on the cutting edge by being one of the leading distilleries to take advantage of new legislative privileges like on-site restaurants and bars, vintage spirits, and now even the satellite tasting room in downtown Louisville. Please welcome Steve Nally, Master Distiller of the Bardstown Bourbon Company and a 2007 Hall of Fame inductee, and Mark Erwin, CEO of Bardstown Bourbon Company, to introduce Peter T. Loftin, founder of Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, everybody, for being here. On behalf of Peter, he's a true visionary. Before I ever met him, I talked to him several times on the phone, and he's just as big a man in person as he was on the phone. He came up with the idea of custom production, as he put it, transparent custom production, and he said I guess you could say the transparent production, the Napa Valley style experience. So what he wanted to do was let the consumer have a transparent vision of what was going on in the still house with the product, and to get into that a little more. When we do a tour at the distillery, you go into it from the very start. You go in, you see product, the vision or the television screens up. You get a view of what's going on in the distillery. You go in and you get a taste of the product from the get-go. You go into the still house, you see glass in the cooker, glass in the still. You see recipes up on the board that who we're making for. You get a true transparent vision of what's going on in the facility. So you're transparent all the way through. That was his vision of transparent with the product, with what's being displayed, what's going on. That's what the consumer was really wanting to see, wanting to find out. When you get outside, we've got a warehouse that's totally glass. One side of it totally glass, and you see the rigs, you see the barrels in the rigs. You go in the warehouse, you get the product out of the barrel. So you get an in-depth feeling of the product while it's aging. You get a connection with the product, with everything that's going on while you're there. You come back and you can have cocktail classes. You can see a vintage room that's got product that's 1890 in there all the way up to modern day. So we wanted to connect the consumer with the product all the way through, from the start all the way to the reality to today. And then on the other side, custom production. He wanted to not make a vodka or gin or something like that to see us through, to get us by until we could have a product of our own. He wanted to do custom production for either non-producers or somebody that had small facility that could not produce enough of themselves. So we're producing product for ourselves and custom producing for other companies. So from the day one, even while we were building the distillery, we started at 1.5 million proof gallons before we even started to still up in 2016, we had enough customers sign up that we started up at that capacity. Within less than a year, we had enough demand, we had double production. Well, another year later, we had to double again. We kept doubling and doubling, just growing as fast as we could. And all of it just kept going. And it was just like the freight train, just kept running and running. Well, the demand kept growing like that. And we got to growing so fast that it was almost like we were growing too fast, that management had a hard time keeping up with it. So Peter was seeing this running out of bounds, and he saw that he needed to correct that. So he changed that, and he hired one different management group that controlled that, like in course. And that management has continued to grow, and that is led by our present management, which is Mark Erwin, our CEO now, that has kept that going at the steady pace that we are going today. So I want to let Mark continue the story of Peter's path that has led us up to today's path that we're on now, and tell you a little bit more about Peter's path that is really keeping us growing to what we are today.
Okay, a lot of folks don't know the background of Peter Loftin. Peter was a North Carolina boy. He was brought into Kentucky. He was a serial entrepreneur. He grew right out of college. A couple years after school, he started a company called BTI in North Carolina. He grew into one of the 7th largest telecom communications companies in the U.S. He was a giving individual who did all kinds of things in Raleigh. He was a North Carolina Entrepreneur of the Year. He gave to the public arts. He helped a big military supporter. He actually started, was one of the key starters of a special operations and airborne museum in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He was truly a giving guy as a young man who was making a lot of money. He ended up selling that business at BTI, coming out of that, moving to Florida, and he opened the Versace Mansion as a club. He turned it into a club. Many of you know the story of the Versace Mansion in Miami. He turned that into a club. I'll say everything I've heard about it, there was a lot of fun going on, but there wasn't a lot of money making going on. So eventually that ended, and Pete bought $2 million worth of whiskey as a commodity investment out of NGP in Indiana. It's good whiskey. They do make good whiskey up there at NGP too, so many of us have used it before. But that was strictly as an investment. He saw what a great investment it was, and he said, why isn't someone doing this in Kentucky? So that's when he hired Steve Nally and David Mandel, who you know, to come get this amazing facility started. And as Steve said, the core piece was helping others bring their products to the market and doing that custom distillation for others. It was, you know, truly something, a game changer in the industry. A few of these brands have actually grown up in our distillery, started in our distillery, and sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's the kind of thing that this business created with Pete's idea and what he brought to the market here. I'll tell you about Pete's passion real quickly. So the last time I got Pete, it was actually 9 days before he passed away. Pete called me a lot, gave me a lot of guidance. Pete brought me out about 5 years ago to come grow the company, and he was actually over at Heaven Hill. He was over at Heaven Hill, and Heaven Hill was making their $17 million hospitality investment, and Pete was coaching me. All right, Mark, I'm over here at Heaven Hill. They're doing this investment. I'm going over to Willett next to see what they got going on. Look, we started this thing. We got to finish it. The way he thought about the way he thought about customer experience. He was passionate about our business, and his mission to us was to grow an internationally recognized brand, and that's what we're on the path. Now, we're not there yet, but we've now got 2 brands that are growing, and we've got Pete's mission, and we're carrying it on every day. We've got 2 tables worth of folks here who knew Pete back in the day. I know a lot of people here didn't know him. We are proud to represent him. Our entire company lives with the passion that Pete put in us early. all of our tours go by and see Pete on the wall every day, and we're real proud to speak about Pete. And with that, I'll just tell you, thanks for everyone who helped make this happen. I am honored to be here today on behalf of Pete, but I want to bring up his two sons who are even more honored to be here on behalf of Pete, and let Jagger say a quick word, and then happy to have them representing their dad. So Jagger, Jett, if you'll come on up, please.
I'm extremely grateful to be here today representing my father, and I'm extremely thankful for him getting the recognition he deserved in the bourbon industry. Growing up, it was extremely evident how passionate he was with bourbon and the industry. He would often be reading books years before the distillery, and just talking about how much he wanted to get into it. And then one day I came home and he was like, "Son, come here. I want to show you what we're doing up in Kentucky." He showed me the pictures of the distillery, and my Lord, he was proud of it. He loved it. And I'm so thankful for the team at the Bardstown Bourbon Company and everything they do every day to build upon his legacy. And I'm so thankful for the Hall of Fame for having him. Thank you.